you guys? Welcome back. We are on part two with Nadia Elle, Purple Mosh. We will be discussing a little bit more on different topics. But to begin with, I am your favorite realtor, the home locator, Jadrian Lawson. Thank you for being a part of this part two. Let's
Thank you
get
for
right to
having
it.
me.
Let's get
Yeah.
right to it. So, off air, you were talking about scaling. Well, not necessarily scaling, but going from a $9 to $10 paying job to a six-figure job. Can you touch a little bit more on that, and we can kind of figure out how we can help them out get to that point?
I definitely think that's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Business entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't have the drive to get up and say,
Yep.
"Oh, I'm going to start my business today. Let me figure out how to take care of my family." Some
Yep.
people are content with being employees, and
Okay.
there's nothing wrong with being employees because if everybody stopped being an employee,
Mm-hmm.
who go take care of the people who need services?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you have to look inside yourself and see what am I doing now
Mm-hmm.
and what could I be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget one of my first jobs was working at a as a call center at a pharmacy.
Yeah.
I think we might have been making like $12 or $13 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
but because we sat at a desk and we were on a phone
Mm-hmm.
and we had PTO and
Yeah.
vacation times and they paid us on snow days,
Yeah.
we thought we were living the life.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
my next job, I might have been making $15 an hour, but I had a laptop. So I could take
Mm-hmm.
my laptop home and I could
Yeah.
work from home 1 or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So that was a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized there were people who were less skilled than me,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't know as much as me, who were making $100,000,
Yeah.
six figures on their day job
Yeah.
when they weren't doing anything special.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't achieving more than me. They
Yeah.
had just had a better position.
Yeah.
I tell anybody right now, if you're working in a job and you like the company or you like what you do, look and see what management is doing.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you different from that person?
Okay, okay. So when I was working, it was a place that I was working at before, and I kind of sat back. I was in school at the time when I was at UNT, and I was sitting there just kind of in exactly what you just said, just trying to soak up the game that they were doing, like everything that they were doing. I was kind of mirroring it, just kind of understanding.
Right.
When it comes to management positions, and if you're an employee and you're looking to move up, honestly, just study them. Come in on days that you don't have to work. Just kind of let all of that soak in, and then just ask around. Closed mouth don't get fed. So if
At
you don't
all.
ask these questions, hey, how can I get to a management position, or whatever the case may be, if you don't have no opportunity to grow at the company that you're at, and you're already not necessarily too happy, I wouldn't say just move around, but also just work. Don't work a little bit harder, just work a little bit smarter.
Definitely.
Do the things that you have to do to get into the right places, just like networking, just like marketing. Everything has a strategy. Just have a strategy on getting to where you want to be, especially that management role, for sure.
Definitely. That's true. But I think sometimes we have to take things into appearance like, are we friendly at work? Or
Yeah.
are we at work treating people like you don't want to be there?
Yeah, are you
You
approachable, things like
know,
that?
I'm a joke with everybody, and they think,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're so crazy," and I'm thinking, "No, I'm really serious." But
Yeah.
I'm fun to be around.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you have to let people know that no matter what we're doing, I'm knowledgeable about what I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you can trust me with the information.
Mm-hmm.
Take an Excel class.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I make over six figures. My husband will tell you he barely graduated high school and he makes over six figures.
Yeah.
My husband has a CDL. He's been driving trucks over 20 years.
Nice.
He loves driving trucks, but he comes home every day. So when
Wow.
you think, oh, you get your CDL, you drive, you out on the road,
Mm-hmm.
that's not every job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have people who may be felons. They come out, they get their CDL.
Mm-hmm.
You can go drive for Walmart. You can go drive for Dollar General. You can go drive for other companies, and then you can still come home to your family every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're learning a trade until you can save up and buy your own truck and be
Okay.
your own boss.
Okay.
For me, I started out on the phones taking orders for people shipping specialty medications to their house.
Mm-hmm.
Like you may have someone who has cancer
Mm-hmm.
and they need a pill that you're not going to find at your local CVS.
Mm-hmm.
So we would ship it and make sure we had it to their house by the time they need it.
Okay.
I combined that with some Excel classes.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get a better job. And then I turned that into a customer success position. If you're on the phone and you're a customer service rep for any job, If you watch the way you dress,
Mm-hmm.
because if you come to work and you don't look like you don't care about being there,
Mm-hmm.
they go think you don't care, and that's how they go treat you.
Yeah.
If you watch how you interact with other people
Mm-hmm.
and you take time to learn what makes you the best, you're able to grow in those roles.
Yeah.
Anyone who answers the phone is a customer service position. You're building yourself up to be a client services advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Those positions start at 85,000.
Mm-hmm.
You're building yourself up to be a customer success manager, $100,000 position.
Yeah.
Client services, client success roles. They're nothing but glorified customer service positions,
Yeah.
and most of them start at 100,000, and
Wow.
most of them are remote.
So how do you? This is kind of a on one question. How do you get to that point? Or how do you get in touch with these type of jobs? You know, obviously we know about them, but how do if it's someone that is looking to actually, get into one of these jobs, how do you find it?
Start by spending $15 on
Mm-hmm.
Fiverr to get your resume redone.
Okay. Okay.
If your resume is your first step of your first impression of who you are.
Yep.
If your resume is not up to par, what makes you think someone is going to think you're up to par?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let someone take your skills and don't underestimate yourself. Like you'll put, oh, customer service, answer phones. No, customer service responsible for inbound, outbound phone calls, responsible for assuring 100% client satisfaction, and responsible for ensuring client needs met. Look at the job that you're interested in. Go to LinkedIn, go to even Facebook has jobs. Facebook has groups who tell you about these jobs, and go to Indeed. Look for the job that you're interested in. Read the details of that job and actually read what they're saying. Take the words from the job that's posted. See which phrases are applicable to the jobs that you have experience in. Update your resume accordingly because bots are reading the resumes and they're looking for keyword searches. So if your keywords that are applicable to what you have done match the keywords for the job that you desire, you're a better match.
Yeah, definitely. Is it so? Do you have any reserves on ChatGPT helping you with that, or?
It's a great resource. And one of the ladies I'm doing business with, I can't even tell you. I'm sure she made over $100,000 last year just using chat, and she teaches classes on how to use chat.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've taken some of her classes and I've watched some of the stuff that she's done, and I'm just sitting here like, first things first, we're in this room. It's 50 people in this room. They each paid $100 to be here. Because if you say something's $99, you think, oh, that ain't even $100. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, the people in this room alone is enough for me to, quit my job and walk out of here.
Absolutely.
But you're teaching the resources based on what you've learned.
Okay.
And that is something that you'll definitely see my page moving toward in the future, is showing people how to get out of these situations. And don't be afraid. Like even if you don't have a degree, take a class. Like I know people who don't have degrees, but they may say, okay, let me go and take this one software class. So now I can go in and do things in service software. Right? Certifications go a long way. And more jobs, they just posted this maybe 2 weeks ago on the news, more and more jobs are moving away from having a degree as a requirement. And I'm not saying don't get a degree, because I went to college and my college days are some of the best days of my life.
Mine too.
And I mean, there's no experience like, knowing I'm at my mom and daddy house. I'm not quite grown. I'm
but
still having fun. But I think everybody should experience college.
Definitely. Definitely.
And then I'm gonna tell you, if you go to college, generationally, you have some people who go to college. That's how they find out what they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to, back up. I'm very big on books, and Audible is my number one thing. I have at least 400 books on Audible. I like to hear what other people have done or experienced because I can learn from your mistake.
Yeah.
I don't have to get burnt to know fire is hot.
Yep.
Jay, you can tell me, hey, that fire hot, don't go over there.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to Leslie Jones' book on Audible, and with her size and being black, and she said the number one thing she was recruited for was to play basketball.
Wow.
And she said she was killing it, but her heart wasn't in it. So they dared her to go to a comedy show and perform.
Wow.
And on a dare, she got up there, got a round of applause her first time out, and she said, I knew I wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah.
But I knew I didn't want to be a basketball player. So she didn't graduate. but she specifically stated college taught me what I didn't want to do.
Yeah, yeah. I think when it comes to college and stuff, I think it not just, but it helps you with organizational skills, meeting
Definitely.
deadlines, having structure. All of that stuff kind of it's more of a you doing everything repetitively every day. One, you're doing it on your own, so you don't have anybody down your throat on your back about what it is that you have to do and things like that. So those are the things that I took away uh, from being in college, and I loved it. Because you go somewhere on a Tuesday, come back at 3, 4 in the morning, and have to be at wherever it is, whatever class
Yeah.
that you have to
At
be
8 o'clock the next
at eight
morning.
o'clock in the morning. But you have that structure to where your brain is like, bro, you have to go no
Yeah.
matter what you're doing.
And you need the opportunity to meet different people.
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
if you stay where you've always been, you're only going to know what you've always learned.
Yeah, yeah,
So even if going to college, and we're not down talking college, because if you have the opportunity to get a degree,
yeah,
please go. And if you have an
definitely.
opportunity to get a degree for free, take advantage of that.
For
But
sure.
when you go and meet different people and you're exposed to different things, it'll open you up as a person.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
one of the things, like, yes, I'm totally passionate about my business. I'm passionate about teaching other people about their business. And part of that is because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
people in the pandemic who had side hustles and they say, "Oh, this is just my hobby," or "I bake for fun because I like baking, and that extra money allows
Yep,
me to buy stuff for my grandkids."
yep,
But what happened when the world shut down?
yeah, yeah.
And you're let's say you're making $500-600 a weekend
Mhm,
baking stuff,
mhm,
and you're not realizing I really needed that income.
yeah,
Then those people who had been faithfully baking, who had
mhm,
been faithfully purchasing materials
yeah,
and selling a product,
yeah,
were not able for things such as small business grants and PPP loans that may have came out.
yeah,
But had they maybe went down to the courthouse and paid, less than $10 to get their business registered,
mhm,
they would have qualified for $20,000-$30,000 worth of forgivable grant money, which would have
yeah,
put them in a position to
yeah,
maintain themselves.
yeah,
But we look at stuff as, oh, I just do that for fun. The thing you do for fun is the thing that could be getting you paid.
yeah. So what is the biggest misconception of things that you would need to have a six-figure job? Because since we're on that topic, that's something that I would love for people to understand. The biggest misconception. There's a lot of things that people say that, oh, I can't do it because I don't have a degree or certifications or anything like that. What is it about a six-figure job that will kind of veer someone from a 8, 9, $10 job to even get into a six-figure? Like, what is it that they have to have in their head that has to click for that to happen?
Determination.
Yeah.
You got to have the want. You have to have the know how. And that's one of the things I said I want to start moving to, because I think I know interact with so many young people,
Mm-hmm.
or so many, especially women, who
Yeah.
don't realize their value, so they stay in the roles they're in.
Yeah. Okay.
Like on the babysitting time, like I
Mm-hmm.
have friends who work at daycares, they make $11, $12 an hour.
Yeah.
Why can't 4 or 5 of y'all get together, one person get the certification to have the licensing, and then you
Mm-hmm.
start your own daycare?
Mm-hmm.
Average daycare cost in Collin County is about $275 a week,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
start your own business and divide it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna push back on that just to kind of so you can kind of dive a little deeper. What if someone is saying that, oh, I can't really, I don't have the time to do that, or I don't want to take time out of working to go do this. So how would you say, what is it that you would tell them to actually get them to do it? Because a lot of people are out here that have this in their notion in their head that they can't do it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I would tell them to stay doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have time, then you like what you're doing and
Yeah.
you like where you are, and
Yeah.
that's where you want to be next year, and that's where
Mhm.
you want to be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, you go back to college. I'm actually working on some stuff, and the lady who is the coach for this boot camp I'm in, she is a
Mhm.
Scrum director.
Okay.
That, like, in her day job, she's tech savvy. She runs projects. She uses the Scrum method.
Okay.
One of the main things, which threw me back to something that I learned my freshman year in college, was they would make you take a organizational skills class, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and they would map out 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. What are you doing every day? What time do you wake up? What time do you have to be at school, or what time do you have to be at work? What
Mm-hmm.
time are you commuting? What time are you eating dinner? majority of the people, from the time they get off work to the time they go to bed, let's say they get off work at 5, you commute, you get home at 6, between 6, and be honest, most of us aren't going to bed till 11 or 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Whether we're
Yeah.
watching TV, whether we're gaming,
On the phone.
whatever it is, watching TikTok videos, spending time with your spouse. What are you doing from 6 to 11 or 12? You mean to tell me you can't take an online course for 30 minutes or an hour somewhere between 6 to 12?
Yeah, yeah. Because when you really sum up your entire day, at least 4 to 5 hours are literally you just looking at your phone, just like this.
You know, even with your kids, if your kids are at football practice from 5 to 6:30, from 5 to 6:30, you can't take your laptop with you.
Yeah.
And do an online class.
Yeah.
To better yourself.
Yeah.
To better your future. And be realistic. I mean, you sell houses. You've seen what this market has done, especially in Collin County.
Yeah.
My sister and brother them are in Anna. The neighborhood they lived in 10 years ago, those houses might have been 85,000. Right now, those houses almost 300,000. And nothing annoys me more than hearing somebody say, "Oh, I'm on a fixed income."
Yeah.
We all on fixed incomes.
Yeah.
If you're a salary employee and your salary is $85,000 a year, that's a fixed income.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting any more, you're not getting any less. Yeah. We associate that with someone who gets a disability check with maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
But just in my own personal life, I've seen our light bill go from $125 a month to as high as $700 a month. So where is that difference in money coming from?
Yeah.
Are you prepared for that difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing to make money to cover that difference?
That makes, it makes perfect sense. Honestly, I think, to kind of just to get a gist of everything that we had talked about, it's really all about determination, figuring out what it is that you like to do, and if you actually want it or not. Honestly, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. The things I had to do to be here, as far as getting my college degree, that took 7 years. To being in the position that I am right now, and that's being a realtor, that took a year. So it's not the starting point. It's not about the end goal. It's about the process. You should enjoy everything that you wake up doing.
Right.
Whether it's working, whether it's something that you passing time at, whatever job it is, just enjoy every moment that you have, because you just never know. It's something that you're doing that somebody else is looking up to you. I have a lot of people looking up to me. I'm sure you have the same. It's just focus, stay focused, and do what you have to do to be great. We all have greatness in us, so you just got to tap into it and realize what it is that you love. But I think that should sum up, everything that we have as far as, getting a better job, quote unquote, a better paying job. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on with that topic?
And that's one of the things that you'll see on my website soon. I do want to start doing advisory packages.
Okay.
Like I already do a branding package now where I help people get legit on paper.
Yeah.
But I also want to be able to do consultations where you can tell me what you do now, what you don't like about your job, what you do like about your job, and then let me start pointing you into career paths. Because the CEO of the company is never going to tell you, "Hey, you've taken the most phone calls this month. You could really be doing this."
Yeah. So it's kind of really what you're doing is a bundle consultation type of deal to weed out the things that they don't like, but gather the things that they do like, and give them, on how to scale that to be in a better position later, versus you just continue this hamster wheel of a situation.
Correct. Because sometimes it could be something as simple as applying. Update your resume and apply.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may need to take, 1 or 2 classes, but like even Collin College has continuing education classes.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised with the cost of living today. Now, most people be eligible for grant money, or Pell Grants to cover those classes.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go to school for free and, work your hardest and bust your ass for 6 months, for a year, to change your life next year?
Yeah.
Because you're on your job. You're working 40, 50 hours a week on your job to get a 3% raise if you're lucky.
Yeah.
A 5% bonus if your job offers bonuses. And apartments are going up, 50%. They're doubling in price. Houses are doubling.
Yeah.
The food, a pack of ground meat used to be what, $3.24? It's $6.99 now.
Yeah.
Your wages are not indicative of what's happening. You can't keep up and say, okay, doing what I'm doing now, you're not going to be able to afford life next year. But if I take these classes or if I learn just this one thing, I can move myself into a better position and make a better life for my family. Everybody wants a better life.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate goal is to be able to own our time
Mm.
and own the flexibility and have enough money to afford the life that we want to live.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We will definitely help you out. I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate you, Nadia, for being here today.
Thank
You will be seeing her a lot more because we are going to continue to give game on just building your brand, just in general. So I appreciate y'all being here today. We got it.